record video. Okay. We're in the letters to the 7 churches in Asia in the book of Revelation. We're now to Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. That's in Revelation, the 3rd chapter, and it starts with verse 6. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. And to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, the words of the Holy One, the true One, who has the key of David, who opens and no one will shut, who shuts and no one opens. It always starts out to the messenger of the church and always gives something about Jesus that is usually apropos to what he is going to tell them. And in Philadelphia, this is the thing that he wants them to hone in on. That Jesus is not only the Holy One, he's not only the true One, but he's the one who has the key of David. And if you remember, David's throne was God's throne. And he goes, who opens and no one will shut, who shuts and no one opens. Many times in our lives, we get caught between various things. Some of you may have had 2 or 3 bosses at work. You had the one who was over here most of the time, the one who was over there, and when they didn't agree, you were in trouble because you couldn't please them both. And you had to choose which one to follow. That happens so much in our lives that we have to choose between. But Jesus wants to make sure that they and we understand there is no choosing. He is the one who has the key. When he opens, nobody's going to shut it. And when he shuts, nobody's going to open it. There is no other boss. There is no other authority. There is no other anything else. This is the one you listen to. I know your works. Do you ever think about that? You hear that a lot here in Revelation. Well, that's true for this congregation as well. It's true for every individual. Sometimes we get to thinking that God knows everything, but he doesn't know my problems. He doesn't know our problems. He just doesn't. But he says, I know your works. Behold, I have set before you an open door, which no one is able to shut. When God opens a door, it stays open until he says it's time to close it. I don't know how many congregations struggle with various works. They start them and then they stop them and then they worry about, and they, well, is this going to work? Is that not going to work? Is that, if God has opened the door through Jesus, if he has opened that door, it's not going to shut. Sometimes we worry ourselves into stopping doing things. Well, will this keep on working tomorrow? Or what will this do? Probably one of the best things the church ever did was the bus ministry. The only problem with the bus ministry is it doesn't show fruit for 20 to 30 years. But there are congregations now that are having people come in that they haven't seen for 20 or 30 years. But they're now adults, and they now know where to go back. And we sort of closed that one a little bit before it should have. I know that you have but little power. Think maybe he's talking to us when we look around here and we're going, well, I think we have more pews than we have people tonight. You know, it might be I know you have but little power, and yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. You mean, Jesus, we have little power and we haven't accomplished much. And he says, that's okay. You've kept my word and have not denied my name. It's like when Jesus told people about the cup of water. All you have is a cup of water. That's all he expects. He doesn't expect every congregation to be able to do everything that a 3,000 person congregation can do. But I think sometimes he expects a 3,000 congregation to do what a 3,000 congregation can do. You know, sometimes the little ones may end up doing more than some of the big ones. Behold, I will make those of the synagogue of Satan who say they are Jews, but are not, but lie. Behold, I will make them come and bow down before your feet, and they will learn that I have loved you. Now, do you remember with the church in Smyrna? They also had trouble with the synagogue of Satan. But for that congregation, the answer was different. They were going to be going through some problems. Sometimes God says you're going to have to endure. And sometimes he says you're going to win. He didn't say, Smyrna, you're terrible because you're going to have to endure being thrown in jail for 10 days, and you're better. No. Some congregations will have it easier than others. Sometimes you will succeed, and sometimes you won't. They will learn that I have loved you. Now, I think the key to this surviving is because you have kept my word about patient endurance. I will keep you from the hour of trial that is coming on the whole world to try those that dwell upon the earth. Sometimes God has said you will have to endure, and sometimes he's said you will triumph. You're going to be skipped over. It doesn't mean you're better or you're worse, but one of the keys to not being troubled and having tribulation is a very simple one. Because you have kept my word about patient endurance. My wife always says, never, ever pray for patience, because God will give you a trial to make your patience better. Sometimes we, as individuals and congregations, endure trials and tribulations and problems because we have forgotten about patiently enduring, about doing what he wants without grumbling or murmuring, and we need to learn. Sometimes he says, yes, you haven't learned that lesson yet. So, that's a word to the wise. Learn to endure without grumbling and complaining. Because since he loves you, he's going to try to make you better. Didn't you do that with your children? When they had something that they didn't learn very well, you kept giving them the lessons until they learned it? Of course, that reminds me of the singer who may not sing as badly as I do, but he wasn't that good, but everybody clapped and said, encore, encore, 7 times. And finally said, I've just got to go. And they said, no, you stay here till you get it right. Sometimes that's the way God treats us. You're going to keep doing it until you get it right. I am coming soon. Hold fast what you have, so that no one may seize your crown. The one who conquers, I will make him a pillar in the temple of my God. Never shall he go out of it. Hold fast to what you've got. If you have but little power and you can't accomplish much, hold on to what you've got. Don't go backwards. Sometimes you're not going to be able to go forwards. Hold on, hold fast, so that no one will seize your crown. When you go backwards, you're going to lose your crown. Remember, God opened the door, and nobody can shut it. Don't ever give up on God. I will write on him the name of my God and the name of the city of my God, the New Jerusalem, which comes down from my God out of heaven, and my own new name. Names don't mean much to us, but they had power in the old days. My name is James, which I don't like. Of course, it could have been Jacob. Same name. I'd like Jake better, but the thing is, it does have a meaning. But it wasn't given to me because of any meaning. It was given to me because they wanted James. Somebody else got the James Lester first, so I was James Lynn. I like it better. Leslie's someone who leases. I don't know nothing to lease. But you remember when Saul had his name changed? Do you remember when Cephas had his name changed? Names meant something. It says, I'm going to write on you the name of my God. You remember in the Old Testament, they would put scriptures here and put scriptures here. That meant they belonged to God. Well, he says, write the name there. Write the name of my new city. If you have the name of the city on there, that means you have to go into the city. You belong to that city. And my own new name. Do any of you have names that your family calls you that nobody else does? A lot of us have those names It's almost like when your boss comes up and says, call me Bill. That's something important. And that's what he's trying to say here. You're going to have a relationship with me. Usually, they end with he who has an ear, but this started with that, which means it is not just for the congregation in Philadelphia, not just for the congregation here,